What up, beautiful people? Pardon the spots on my shirt. I spilled something trying to help somebody with something. Then I wiped it with the wrong thing and left a bunch of little spots. I could have fixed this had I done it right in the first place. Anyways, today's episode is brought to you by Ezel's Chicken. This is the Northwest premier chicken place to go. Yes, there's a black podcast and sponsored by Black Ass Chicken. It is what it is. You can hate until you taste it, because once you taste it, you're going to be like, I get it. It all makes sense. Shout out to Mr. Ezel. Now, listen, I want to tell you about some shows I got coming up. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm doing this because this is how Gary Owen did his. So here we go. We got the Bijou Theater in Knoxville, Tennessee, Friday, August 23rd. Saturday, August 24th, Robert Kirk Walker Theater in Chattanooga, Tennessee. The Sunday, August 25th, we're going to go to Huntsville, Alabama at the Mars Music Hall. Then at the end of August at the Bricktown Comedy Club in Tulsa, Oklahoma, I'll be doing 5 shows. Okay, for more shows, go to natejacksoncomedy.com. That's all the stuff I have for August. You know what? Because it rolls into Labor Day weekend, I'm also going to take some time to tell you about the big-ass show I'm doing on Sunday, September 1st. This is Labor Day Eve, I guess you can call it. We're at the YouTube Theater. It's myself, Dominique, Corey Holcomb, Ryan Davis, and Dion Cole. It's going to be an amazing show. Also, at the Super Funny Comedy Club here in Tacoma, Nate Jackson Super Funny Comedy Club, we have Dion Cole this weekend, doing 2 shows Friday and 2 shows Saturday. With that said, let's dive into some topics. Okay, first topic is Tyreek Hill wants to race Noah Lyles from the Olympics has said that being a champion in basketball is not a world champion. It's like a national champion. Granted, he's right and wrong, right? Like, it's the National Basketball Association is for the United States, but there's so many foreign players that they are on all those other teams. So when we're hooping still against the best in the world. So winning a national basketball championship in the United States does actually correlate to being a world champion. Tyreek don't like that. Tyreek don't like that he been talking. Tyreek don't like that he was all cocky. I don't know if you saw how he started the 200-meter dash, but he literally wasted half of his energy jumping around, bouncing all over all 8 lanes while the other 7 runners were in the blocks ready to start. Tyreek says that's cocky. He says, when you get back to the States, get ready because I'm going to race you. So everybody can sit back and watch Tyreek Hill get his ass dusted. So that's pretty much what would happen if the cheetah raced Noah Lyles. We don't like how fast Noah Lyles been talking, but we got to respect how fast he is on the track, my brother. Those track stars do not fuck around. I watched DK Metcalf running against 7 other track stars. He hung with them, but he was in 6th or 7th place. And he's one of the fastest NFL receivers that is in the entire league. So, yeah, I don't know if challenging him to a race is going to get him to be quiet. Because if he beats you, then what? Now he got a license to say anything he wants to say. I think he needs to outrun, something like a train. Or outrun a Mini Cooper. Show me that. Just whoop him and show him the machine is faster than man. Then maybe that'll make him be quiet. But he's a gold medal winner in the Olympics for the 100-meter dash. I think we should let him talk his shit. I think we should just sit back and watch him talk his shit and be great. He's a gold medal winning track star. Instead of challenging him, I think it is what it is. He's crazy as hell. I watched the interview. He said he was raised in a cult, him and his mama. And they went from one cult to another situation that they thought was going to be the escape from the cult, and it was cultish too. He won the gold medal and then came out with a whole bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh shit on his arms. He's a special individual. So let's let him go ahead and be special. He's the fastest man on earth, and let's celebrate him for that instead of trying to challenge him to races in the hood. That's what niggas do. Moving on. We have a section of the show called Caitlin Clark Watch. Moving on. Because that's how long that segment deserves today. I'm going to move right the hell on. Don't nobody give a damn. Preseason has started. I saw an article that said Dak Prescott and Patrick Mahomes got the same stats, except Patrick Mahomes is winning games deep into the playoffs. They said they're the same quarterback. Maybe even Dak is better than Patrick Mahomes. I also saw Patrick Mahomes do a behind-the-back pass. So I just want to say, let's stop comparing Dak to other people who are doing great things. Yes, Dak is great, but it's a different kind of greatness that Patrick Mahomes is exuding, right? Like, it seems to me like Dak is mechanical, technical, You know, he's working the feet. He's doing the hips. He's got the 3-step drop. He has his release. He's a technical guy, right? As if you had an android at quarterback, a very talented black android. Patrick Mahomes is out there creating. He's improving. He's loose. Yeah, you call this play, but that might not be what happens. He might pump fake, spin one way, spin the other, fuck around, throw it behind his back or crossfield in the other direction. You just got to appreciate him for creating on the spot. I'm a fan of Patrick Mahomes. I'm not a fan of the way he walks back to the huddle after he scores or after he gets a first down or after he slides. I cannot stand that he switches his hips. I don't understand. Like, he literally embodies what you would expect the NFL quarterback to be, like the leader of the team, like awesome, machismo, man's man, and then he switches back to the huddle. Like, yeah, bitch, huddle up. Like, I don't get that. I don't get the switching. Is Patrick Mahomes thick? Like, is that what I did? I'm not tuning into the game to see the quarterback out here switching his thick-ass hips. I'm confused. His dad worked with him on every aspect of the game, and his mom worked with him on getting back to the huddle. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know why he's speed walking and switching, but, you know, it is what it is. But I just don't want to see no thick-ass quarterback. Russell Wilson had a terrible preseason at the Steelers. I'm already over the Russell Wilson hate. Like, it is what it is. He went to the Broncos. He did his thing. They got rid of him because they didn't run the system that works for him. He's at the Steelers. They need a fresh chance. And now he's going toe-to-toe with Justin Fields. And people are already talking about bringing in Tannehill with Justin Fields because one of the coaches worked with Tannehill and they had a lot of success, and that Russell might be a better fit at the Vikings where Sam Darnold and some other quarterback and somebody else got hurt. Their depth chart is weak where they got hurt. I'm back in a mode mentally where I want to see Russell win. He needs to just go to a market where he doesn't have to be the blackest person. He needs to go to a market where he doesn't have to be appreciated for the culture. He just needs to go where it's like a football culture. It's all football. We don't care who's running the team. Football, football, football. That might be Minnesota. You think of Minnesota, you don't think of like, you know, it's not the blackest cultural epicenter that there is. If you visit Minnesota, you're actually shocked. You're like, wow, look at all this diversity, and Paisley Park is here, and this is where Prince was from and all that. But from outsider looking in, that could be a good place for him to be. He's used to playing cold. He came up in Wisconsin, and so maybe that's a good fit. I would have loved to see him step up during the preseason and solidify his job over Justin Fields, but it looks like that's not what happened yet. I'm rooting for Russell Wilson again to have some success. I really am. I think that TikToking with his wife hurt him. I think that when he has his attention torn between several different things at a time, that's when I start to see him waver at quarterback. And if he can just focus in and they say lock in. That's what they say when you're playing Call of Duty. Lock in. So if he can just lock in, I think he'll have another set of successful seasons. Because when I saw him at the All-Star Weekend for the Pro Bowl, he hit, 12 out of 11 markers? Like, it looked like he was having his own combine. I'd like to see him get a W again, is what I'm saying. There's people who are like, man, fuck Russell Wilson, right? Like Trenton, who's behind the boards right now, could care less. Trenton is a Broncos fan. He saw Russell Wilson come into Broncos, and he feels like it distracted his team from what they should have been doing, and they could have hit the ground running. I don't give a fuck about the Broncos. Broncos just like having a big head white boy at quarterback. That's their whole thing. I've said it once. I'll say it again. If you got a giant head and you're a white dude, you're going to have success at the Broncos. Peyton Manning had success there. John Elway has success there. You just got to have a big-ass head, and they respect you as a team leader. That's what they want. Not a short African-American. That their community can't handle that. They're a mile high up in the sky, and they're dealing with a lot of racism. They can't handle a black leader on the field. We can throw to you, we can pass the ball to you and let you run in and kill yourself, but what we're not going to do is have the leader of our free world be a short, stocky nigga. It's a problem for Denver. They need a tall, big-head white boy. So who they got? Bo Nix. Bo Nix got listed as the starting quarterback for the Broncos, and if you go look at him, he fits the profile. He's another big-head white boy. So Trenton is happy. He's happy. He says all is well in Bronco land. Let's ride. That's what he says right now. Tyrese crying? You want to talk about Tyrese crying? Why? You want to know that there's a safe space that men can talk to each other.
Men need to know that.
Okay, men need to. I think men do know there's safe spaces to talk to each other. They just don't equate the Breakfast Club with being that place, right? Now, somebody who's such a big proponent of therapy and getting help as Charlamagne is, he spent a lot of time laughing at and with Tyrese during that interview. But yeah, Tyrese was very poignant in his interview. He said his jewelry was fake. He said he don't care about that. He said how many house cleaners has he had? Hotels have stolen his stuff. Talking about we don't know where it went. So he's not even bothering wearing real jewelry anymore because until you've lost $250,000 worth of jewelry, don't talk to him about whether his jewelry is real or if his jewelry is fake. That wasn't the emotional part Keela's referring to. She's talking to the part where he was in tears and turning down napkins. Like, black men cry. It is what it is. He said, you know, when you get a divorce, the woman's not the only one that's hurt. When you experience a miscarriage, the woman's not the only one that's hurt. When the money and how the breadwinning is ebbing and flowing, don't just always check on the woman. The man is, you know, that's a whole, there's trauma there, you know? And Tyrese has always been very talented. He's gone through a lot. He lost both of his sisters, his mom, his wife. I don't know if he went through a miscarriage situation, but if he did, he went through that too. So there's a lot. And I haven't had a reason to be crying in a public sphere or space, or really even crying in private. I just haven't had anything happen that has brought me to tears. But if that was the thing, I don't give a fuck what y'all think about me. If I'm gonna cry, I'm gonna cry. You know, if that's what it is, then that's what it is. If I'm crying, I'm crying. Judge me. You know, shame on the people that are like, look at this bitch ass nigga. Like, shame on that person. What you crying at? Like, I think it's kind of wild that he had to look dead at the camera and level with the people and say, listen, black men cry. Like, we're humans. It's not like black men are incapable of emotion or that we don't have tear ducts. We can be sad. We can cry. And so it's real. So that's my 2 cents on it. I don't know if that's what you intended for me to say. Sometimes I know you want me to be like, shut your bitch ass up, Tyree, but that's not how I feel.
That is not what I think you just said.
Just saying. And also, I'm not even saying there's a knock to Charlamagne, because I know Charlamagne, like I said, he's done a lot of therapy work, and I like Charlamagne, right? I don't know if he's a controversial character where some people don't like Charlamagne, but I like Charlamagne. I have a story about it. When D-Ray did Hip Hop Squares, hosted Hip Hop Squares season 1 and season 2, I was booked as the crowd warm up, and so every time before the break, after the break, during the show, when the crowd is cheering and yelling and laughing and in good spirits, that's me that's generating that. Like, yeah, the show's funny, but when you're there filming for 6 to 8 hours with a paid audience that's the same all day long, they start to lose energy and you got to keep them upbeat. And so that was me. You know, I'm bribing them with Starbursts and giving out candy and telling jokes and having them dance and do twerk competitions and having the stars come out of the squares and come down and interact with them. And so it was a lot of work. I hadn't done warm-up work before. It was a different world. It's a different beast entirely to be the source of everybody's turn up. But that's what you're there for. And it also was a struggle for me because I wanted my own square. I'm like, I'm a celebrity. Why can't, you know, I'm not eligible for a square? What about one of these episodes? Just throw me in the corner. Like, but based on where my career is at, they're like, why would we just randomly have you sitting in the corner? Like, that's how they're acting. But I saw some of the squares. I'm like, that nigga's randomly sitting in the corner. Why can't I? So, you're in between a golden rock and a golden hard place, right? Like, it's gonna pay well, but you have to humble yourself to do it, right? Like, if you have aspirations to be on-camera talent, you're swallowing your tongue every day as you literally pour all your all into an unseen role. You may see your name briefly during credits, but in general, no one's going to remember, who was the warm-up. If you go to a live taping, if you've ever been to a live taping, you end up falling in love with the warm-ups. You're like, dude, the warm-up they were so cool. Usually it's a tandem usually. Like, the warm-up was so cool. Usually, and that's the person cracking the most jokes out of everyone. You know what I mean? Everybody else is like, action. They say their line or their jokes. They get their laugh cut. from then until the next action after a commercial break or somebody got to go to the bathroom, the warm-up is on. There was 20-minute, 30-minute chunks where I'm doing jokes. I'm performing. I'm fucking with people. So it was a lot. But I would get there and half of the squares were like, celebrities that are like acknowledging the crowd, the host, no acknowledgement of the warm-up, right? Hard as I'm working. I got the squares laughing. T.I.'s like, this is crazy. Some people don't acknowledge it at all. Well, during a couple of the breaks, like, they're like, I got an in-ear, and they're like, go over and, if celebrity in squares energy is kind of low, go over there and, peak up Michael Blackson's energy, or go up and peak up Charlemagne is looking at his phone or something. Go just tell him, say something. So I go over, I'm like, Charlemagne, what's good? They said they want to see you look up some more. And he's looking down, he's like, I bet, got you. Well, that's not particularly what happened with Charlemagne. It was somebody else. But I'm saying this about Charlemagne to bring it full circle, is that, so you now know what it was like being the warm-up, right? Like, you want to matter more than you do. And you might matter more than you think you do, but it's a selfless job. I go over and I speak to Charlemagne, and whereas everybody else is in I'm busy mode, or their bandwidth is full with other tasks, messing with their phone or talking to their own team or whatever. Charlemagne took the time to be attentive and speak and say what's up and actually hold a conversation. How are you doing? Dog, you're killing it as a warm-up. And he told me, he was like, I said, man, thank you. I feel seen. And he was like, oh no, I see you. I started out in the trenches with Wendy. So I appreciate the role that the guy that's in that role, because I know you're the one that's going to elevate up out of anybody in the space. Like, that's almost word for word what he said. I was like, I'll be damned. And I went back over and I finished doing warm-up. So anyone that has that type of perspective, like the little guy matters, I rock with. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a fan of Charlemagne. My daddy had a stroke. That's a thing. We did my birthday party on the 14th at the club, Wednesday, August 14th, and it was dope. It is what it is. I got a Werther's Original in my mouth. This part of the show is sponsored by Werther's Original. This part of the show is sponsored by Werther's Original. This is the old world recipe. This is a classic hard caramel candy with creamy caramel filling. So it's not just Werther's on the outside. It's soft and creamy on the inside. Just like me, my heart is like that too, right? Like, it's hard on the outside, but it's soft and creamy on the inside. Anyway, my dad was trying to go to the Democratic National Convention. He made it as far as the Wally Park and had a whole ass stroke. The good news is, physically he's fine. Cognitively he's fine. Like, he's watching the DNC still. He's reading the newspaper. When you speak to him, he understands you. The part that is foggy and or dead, or he's rehabilitating and healing the synapses around, is the part where he's thinking what he wants to say and then he's not able to say what he's thinking. So it's very frustrating, if you could imagine having a thought and the world around you is moving at regular speed and you're just trying to get that one thought out. By the time you get it out, it may not even be poignant to the conversation anymore. So we're all having to slow down and be patient. And I'm learning from it in a sense. Like, you have to really, one, don't take your loved ones for granted. Tell your people you love them. Two, take your health and cherish your own health. The fact that you can talk, the fact that you can listen, the fact that you can sing a song when it hits you, or you can daydream. Like, all that stuff is things that I overlooked. It's just like, yeah, it's just part of who I am. But now that I see my dad struggling with, putting those things back together, I'm like, man, I've been taking it for granted. He's proud of me. He wrote down, you have show, go. And so he wanted me to keep working. And he was bragging to the nurses about me. He said, he wrote on the whiteboard, he said he sold more tickets in 2023. And, he said he sold more tickets. And then my sister was like, reading the board and trying to tell the nurse what he's saying. He said he sold more tickets in 2023. My dad said twice. So he sold more tickets in 2023, and then he sold more tickets again. Like, he's doing fantastic. So, stroke and all, he's still the same proud, strong black man. We just got to get the words to come out the right way. And what I've learned helps is a couple of things, because we're kinesthetic as African Americans, right? We like to touch it, feel it, see it. So you need an example. So if he's trying to say something and I can deduce what he's trying to say, I say, look at my mouth. Then I say it. Then he mimics my mouth, and then he gets it out just fine. Then we celebrate, a little clapping or something so he knows, because it's so frustrating to not get things out that it's a reward to get it out. So he's actually 4 days from a stroke, and he's already counting to 10. Oddly enough, you can sing songs. A part of your brain that stores music and melodies and songs and song lyrics, different than the part of your brain from just general speaking. So music therapy or melodic therapy is actually a thing. We're not going that far, but it was just interesting to watch him struggle to say everything, having to use a whiteboard to talk, but then he could sing Happy Birthday, the regular version, the Stevie Wonder version, and then his own blues version that he does. Also, even the counting to 10, because hand gestures are stored in a different part of your brain, right? So sign language would still be he would still be a fluent if he ever knew sign language. But in counting to 10 and using his fingers, 1 through 10 was just fine. Like, to where my mom verbally was like, well, I'll be damned. And then the last thing that I think is interesting is cuss words are essentially stored in a different folder in your brain, because they're like forbidden to say in general conversation. So his cuss words are flawless. I said, can you say fuck? And he's like, nah, but it wasn't because he couldn't. He didn't want to say it in front of the nurse that was in the room. So later, when he was reading off his paper and he had to say huckleberry, and we had to teach him how to form his mouth again to say huck, 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 he got huckleberry down. And then he said, hey. And I looked over at him and he said, fuck. I said, man, come on, man. Everybody started laughing. He still has a great sense of humor. He's still saying jokes. But yeah, man, love your people. And check on your strong friends. You know what I'm saying? Because people, you just assume everything is cool. I've had a lot of messages in my phone, or people who have had issues or things that they've come to me for, and all of it in context and perspective to what is happening at home and with family. I'm like, it doesn't even matter right now. You know what I mean? So I think it would behoove people to not come into situations loaded or with with a message or whatever they're going to say. Don't just bust in the room with your own agenda. Like, read the room, see what's going on, and then, maybe you'll appreciate the setting a little bit more. But that's what's going on in my private world. And it's a lot. It's a lot to look at, like, your example of manhood and strength and all that, to just be struggling. I think if he was lacking some of the other areas, like receiving information, which some people struggle after a stroke, they can't even receive the information. So now you're trying to relay what you're saying to them and then understand what they're saying. But like, that is extremely tough and can take 3 to 5, 7, in some cases 8 years of rehabilitation. But him being cognitively strong helps, because I'm like, he's in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's still him. His essence is still him. Whereas some people have strokes so severe that you're like, this is a shell of what they used to be. Well, no, it's him. He's still talking shit, saying, telling jokes, and he's cracking up, because the speech pathologist came into the room. She's like, sometimes you got to just say the word and let them watch your mouth. So she's like, Mr. Jackson, look at how I say it. And he looks at her mouth. Now, so my siblings are older than me, 12 years older and 16 years older. So they were gone for most of my childhood. So I grew up in the house with him as an old-ass daddy, right? So I have the most hours and time spent around him. So I know what he's trying to say. Like, I understand his cadence in talking, when he's trying to say something serious, when he's trying to make a joke, when he has a question. And that's even without him saying anything. It's just the verbal cues and even the timing of a thing. Like, when he has said certain jokes, I knew that's what he was trying to say. And everybody was like, yeah, he had the floor. Everybody's paying attention if he's saying something serious. I'm like, you guys know he's about to talk some shit, right? They're like, what? I'm like, just, the next thing he says is not going to be serious. So tune out unless you want to laugh with him. He's like, he laughing while he's trying to write. The lady says, look at my mouth while I say it. He going to say, you pretty mouth. I say, God damn. My mom said, what? Then he gonna gaslight. Nice teeth. I'm like, nah, you said she had a pretty mouth, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You gonna gaslight and have a stroke? So he's still hilarious. Like he still has his joking, positive good nature, and frustration hasn't overwhelmed him. He's having wins. He asked for ice cream today, so we went on a trip to Dairy Queen to get. He wanted a soft serve. Everybody else wanted Blizzard, so we did that. My stomach's on fire right now because we did that. I think the older you get lactose too. I am back losing weight again. I am full on semaglutide, which is an active ingredient in Ozempic. So I'm not on Ozempic, but I am on semaglutide, and it has curbed my appetite entirely. So I think even as soon as January, I think I'm gonna look just different, which is a problem. It's a problem. If I get a 6-pack again, it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be fat groupies everywhere. And I'm inviting them. Bring your big ass out. That's what it's going to be. I told a joke at a show where I said you could tell the quality of your groupies, or you could tell the quality of your career based on your groupies, right? So like you see Chris Brown doing meet and greet, and there's beautiful women draped all over him. They paid $1,000 to jump across and lay in his arms. My groupies, you can't even pick up their thigh. You know, I'm like, they said, there's some women out there in the lobby waiting on you. I said, what they look like? They came back. Like, so I got Benya Pollywog in the lobby for me. We got some more grinding to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you can tell if your career is booming. What the bitches look like out there. And if they trash, you got to get back to work. What your groupies look like right now, Trenton? What groupies? Damn. I got old white women that will follow you out of town and drive backwards down the street and drive into traffic trying to give you a cookie. I got a lady that I thought was a frog the whole time and realized she was a whole human. I thought she was some type of radioactive crossbreed between human and toad. I had I don't know. A nematode. Yeah, she looked like a Teenage Mutant Ninja bitch. So it's just, you know what I'm saying? She like pussy in the half shell, pussy power. So I gotta turn up. I gotta turn up on the extras. You know, who feels comfortable coming around? And really, I think a lot of it. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's Keela's fault. Yeah. See, she was texting, that made her look up. But I'll tell you right now, it's Keela's fault because the women who are hanging back now are the bold ones that are willing to walk past a black woman that's clearly on the team, working with me. She's got on the outfit. She's selling the merch. They'll check with her and be like, is he your man? Type shit. But usually, like, just Keela's presence is enough that women are like, he cute, but they kind of stay away. Now, these pollywogs, these Benya pollywogs, they're like, I don't care who Keela is, I'm going back there. Like, so Keela be warding off a lot of the bullshit. The same way can't no men really get to Keela when she around all of us. You know what I'm saying? Keela be trying to tiptoe off, you know. She just like, I just need to make myself accessible. Where was we at when we was in the club and Keela gone?
No.
Yeah.
Hold up.
You was dancing by yourself. You weren't doing nothing bad. But if somebody was gonna holler, that was a window of opportunity because we were still at the bar trying to buy drinks for your ass. Yeah, where were we? We was at that place where there was 3 bars. The Uber driver came. The Uber driver came into the club with us.
Oh no.
Naples, Florida. Yeah, I'm like, where in the hell is Keela? Can't find her. Keela then went all the way around the other side of the club by the DJ. She over there with Haley and Sue Ra and the Uber driver. They over there twerking in a corner. Can't even no men get up into them because they got their ass in the corner, but they over there throwing it though. They throwing ass right into the corner of the wall. So I'm not approachable right now, but I feel like if I had the tour set up to where like I had a road person that was their thing, like go get the bitches. I see guys come to the club or I see guys touring and they'll meet a beautiful woman and they're like, hey man, it was nice to meet you. That's what's up. Then they move on to the next person. They're signing meet and greet. Their opener is like, he would like your phone number. You know what I'm saying? Just off of some wink or some type of signal they got. They know they need to get that, you know. And Instagram is not enough. We want your phone number, you know. So I don't got that. Sound what is?
This is sounding very Drake-ish.
Drake-ish? Everybody grown. Drake-ish is when they're young. Say, Drake, I heard you like him young. That's literally the lyric. Yeah, so no, this ain't Drake-ish. I'm just telling you why I feel like whoever's trying to see me after a show, whoever's trying to launch extracurriculars is like in the face, okay? It's like Jack Link's jerky. Like, it's all...
Is there somebody who can? Is that even an option? We fucking groupies?
Is there somebody... I'll smash a groupie. You want to know if I'll fuck a groupie? What's she look like? What's she talking about?
Look good.
Is she my type?
She your type.
She's my type. She likes me. She already appreciates what I do on stage and my craft. She done did some research. Hey, how's your dog Brandy? Like, groupies be knowing stuff.
They know a lot.
Yeah. Why the fuck wouldn't I? It makes no sense. The problem is they can't. You're like, excuse me, bitch. You know what I'm saying? He's like, excuse me, we're headed the other direction. But Heath has been so helpful. He's had people come all backstage in the green room and shit thinking they were friends. Like, I don't know her. I don't know that person, Heath. He's like, oh, I thought it was your friend. I'm like, Heath, if I come off stage and go to my green room and there's a stranger sitting in it, that's a problem. Like, but now he's talking about everybody got to wear your lanyards. We're stepping up security. Nigga, you're the reason that anybody's getting to me. You're the reason. So I'm excited to go to Tennessee, man. We're gonna shoot another episode of the food show in Alabama, and so look out for that. Because our workflow that we're gonna leave these cities when it's multiple cities in a row, we don't have the time to go and sit down like that. But if it's a city like Tulsa that's coming up where I have 5 shows, so I'm there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we can find a window of time to go film for 45 minutes and get a 4 or 5 minute episode out of that. But when it's this fast, like we're gonna go into 2 cities in Tennessee, and we got to do the shows, wake up, get in the car, drive, do the shows, wake up, get in the car, drive, wake up, get in the car, airport. We don't have time to mess around, really. And if we are going to grab some food, we're literally grabbing some food. So we don't have time for a full production. We do, but we're not there yet as a team that's producing on the road. We will be soon, though, because we're planning and we're having our meetings. And I'm saying that because for those of you who are like, man, do more of that. Like, you got to understand this work behind. Like, we got to set it up, get access to the restaurant, shoot it. Somebody got to edit it, and you guys just be like, more. You know, so we're trying to give you some more, but bear with us. And as we get into this second leg of the tour, which, to be honest with you, it truly starts this weekend. We just have to manage our expectations. Track our energy and be vigilant with our own output, and then we can continue to give you great content. So I hope you guys have been enjoying the new frequency of material that's hitting social media. There's now at least 1 clip a day hitting TikTok and Instagram. When I say at least, we've been shooting for 2 and getting 2 for about 6 days now, and I can see the energy online. We hit 1 million on Facebook. We hit 500. We hit 500,000 on YouTube. We hit 400, and Instagram is jumping right now too. Instagram went from 400,000 to 439,000, and so 39,000 in 7 days, which is a big jump on an app where nobody's clicking follow anymore. It's actually at 439,835. So in 65 likes, it'll be at 439,900. At 440,000. And that's a big benchmark, because everyone who's a follower, or you like a video, or you send the video out, or you comment on a video, you become part of my algorithm, and you're part of the universe that this is, so that when shows are coming up and I'm coming to your market, you're tapped in and you know what's going on. I have some big stuff coming up, some big announcements. When I say that, I don't want you to feel like it's empty and it's not really happening. This stuff is really happening. It is so big that I had to sign NDAs, and I have to wait until the companies that produce the content are ready to market before I can say it. Otherwise, I'll be letting the cat out the bag early and could jeopardize my involvement in the project at all. So just know there's some big ass stuff coming up. I can tell you about the movie Good Fortune with Seth Rogen, Keanu Reeves, Aziz Ansari, Keke Palmer, and Helen Wong. And that's not the biggest news. There's something TV related. There's something comedy related. It's really exciting. We're on the precipice of another ladder rung and continuing, this marathon to the number one spot. Why not? At the end of the day, the main things that I wanted to make sure that I shared with you guys is that we're going into leg 2 of the tour. I'm coming to a city near you. I want you guys to come to a show. And anybody can get it. If you look away, I won't get you. So don't be scared to be in the building, but come on. And that we have Dion Cole at the club this week. To be honest with you, I don't know how fast this episode comes out. So it's like last week was Dion Cole. Man, we had a time. So, but that's what I'd like to make sure that it has the thickest brushstrokes on is that. And then I'll let you know how Tennessee and Alabama go next week. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Tap in. natejacksoncomedy.com, superfunnycomedyclub.com, and peace.